it by yourself. I think much of the young world is in the selfie world. Look at me, look at me,
Yeah.
look at me. Whereas in my world, it's a team sport. I'm a rugby player. I go on the field with a team, toughest, meanest guys I know. And so you could be the A student from Princeton, but I go on the field with 15 tough men, kick your ass. And so the average guy is coming out there, like, oh, I got an A, I went to Princeton, I went to Harvard, and the corporate America comes out and they go, boom. So that's why when I talk to young people, I say, look, it's a team sport. So the first person I have is a bookkeeper. Bookkeeper is the lowest paid person on my team, but the most important.
Right.
The bookkeeper then keeps the accurate records that my accountant can use, and my attorney can use, and my banker can use. That's the combination there. And my banker, my attorney, and my accountant must work together as a team. Most people, they're bankers, accountants, and attorneys, don't work together as teams. Because in school, we're taught to take our tests on our own. If you ask for help, you're cheating. In my world, it's called cooperation. And what I found with most smart people, they don't know how to cooperate. They don't know how to ask for help. Because in their brains, that's cheating. It means you're stupid. It means you're weak. It means you're stupid. I didn't have that problem because I was stupid in school, so I was asked for help. But the teacher says that's cheating.
And that's very interesting because I had the fortune to start a company when I was 16 years old, and that was exactly the mentality that I had. If I don't do everything well, if I'm not the person that has all the answers, I'm failing. And I was not the best student, so I didn't really stuck by the rules. And I think that's an interesting thing with you. What rugby taught you, and being in the
Marine Corps.
Yeah, taught you.
When we flew into combat, we flew in as sections of aircraft.
Right.
We flew
Together.
in as teams. That's the military.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the lessons that you learned doing those things? Rugby, pilot.
Well, I look at most small entrepreneurs. I call it the selfie world. They're like, oh, look at me. Oh, look at me.
Yeah. The Instagram entrepreneurs, especially. It's great. It's just great.
I'm the smartest. Oh.
Right.
And I want the smartest attorneys, accountants, bookkeepers, bankers, politicians. I come at it as a team. Just think about this. It's like a basketball team. They're playing basketball. But you went to Harvard. You have a master's, a PhD. But you're playing against 5 guys. I don't care how smart you are. Those 5 guys will kick your butt all day long.
This is not in the movies. Bruce Lee cannot really beat 10 people in real life,
That's right. But that's what
in the
people
movies,
don't believe.
that's what's perceived. Like if you're good enough, you can beat 10 people.
Yeah, that's
in
not
real life,
true.
you're going to lose every time.
Not in the corporate world. So I operate according to the rules of corporate America.
Yeah.
I don't operate according to the rules of employee America. They're different. The tax rules for corporate guys is less than employees. Employees pay the highest taxes.
Yeah.
Guys like Trump and me pay 0.
And people are angry
Legally.
at that, which is very interesting. People are very angry at people that don't pay taxes, which is, again, a proof that people cannot wrap their heads around that.
Because they've been hypnotized and go to school, get a job, work hard, pay taxes.
Yeah.
Until they change those words, their lives are not going to change. So they get angry, but they're angry at the words in their head.
Yeah. So what are some of the other things, some key points that we could talk about from your new book? Because I know Rich Dad Poor Dad, you probably talked so much about that. It's a great book. I've read it when I was 15, and it's amazing that you've made accounting so interesting.
Yeah.
It's like a combination between an amazing storyteller and accounting, which is not the combination you would think of. So
Right.
I think when I look at it, I think that's the reason it had so much success, because people devoured it like a story, but it was accounting. So you tricked them.
You're a very smart young man.
So you made them eat their broccoli by making it look
Yes.
like a Big Mac or something like that.
Yes.
It's amazing. So we're not going to talk that much about that. But what do you think are some key things that was the reason that you wrote this book, and some things that we can give people?
Well, if Rich Dad Poor Dad was high school,
Yeah.
this is graduate school.
Okay.
So it's basically saying many of the same things at a little higher level of thought, So a person should start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. If they don't like Rich Dad, Poor Dad, they'll hate this book.
Perfect.
Because they went to school, they got a job, they're working hard, they're saving money. Use debt as money. Because in 1971, money became debt.
Yeah. So it seems like an underlying psychological problem more or less than information, because the information, it's available. You do such an amazing job. Well, you put your life against this goal, basically. And I'm curious about why you do that and why you continue to do it, because I think it's not intuitive to people. Like, he can make all this money and he spends his time with me in an interview teaching young people. Like, it's not exactly the most ROI use of your time, right? So if you look at it from the outside. But what do you think is so if I'm a young person listening, I'm going to listen to this. What do I have to do to break the hypnosis? Because most people that don't want to hear it will dismiss the message.
Yes.
So should I meditate? Should I spend time thinking about it? Should I just... Okay.
I love meditation. I think everybody should meditate, to cure the conflict that's going inside. Because I purposely say those things to create conflict.
Perfect.
Because if you don't change those thoughts, you'll wind up like my poor dad.
Yeah.
Very highly educated poor guy who worked very hard all his life. I felt for him.
Yeah.
Then he got fired by the people he challenged. And he found that his PhD meant nothing.
Yeah.
PhD always stands for poor, helpless, and desperate. So the moment they threw him out of the...
That's a great acronym.
So the moment they threw him out of the school system, he was like this stray dog who couldn't feed himself on the streets. The streets just ate him alive. Whereas an entrepreneur, I love the streets. It's like dog eat dog out there. It's fun. It's game. It's like playing rugby. But most academics can't play the game of rugby because it's too nasty. But some guys, I love the game.
Yeah.
I love sports.
I love it so much. Yeah. That's amazing. And what do you think, for example, if you look against, we've been in the longest, growth period of ever. Where do you think? Why are you laughing?
Growth? Go ahead.
People look at it now, and because they're scared and they're safety oriented, thinking, "Oh, I couldn't really start now because there's a financial crisis coming.
Yeah.
So why would I start now?" So it's still the safety that they're looking for. So what would you say about that? About the financial crisis coming up? There should be some sort of corrections happening in the future.
Well, let me ask you this: if you had bought a ticket to get on the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
And you knew it was going to sink, what would you do?
Not buy the ticket.
Well, let's say you already bought the ticket.
Okay, I'll build the best boat to get out of it.
I would be getting ready to get off of it as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I would be looking at life rafts and checking things out and things like that.
Yeah.
Because we're going down.
Yeah.
And this is the difference. Crashes make the rich richer. So what happens is, there's an old saying in investing. The bear goes up, the bull goes up the stairs. There's bulls and bears, right?
Yeah.
So the bull goes up the stairs, the bear goes out the window. So if you want to get rich quick, I like the crashes.
Because you can buy low.
Oh, shit, it comes down so fast. So if you can do it in stocks, you can short the thing, you can do, naked put, yeah. You can be instantly quick. But it's slow going up, but it's fast when it crashes. So right now, if I was a young person, I'd be taking probably a stock options course to trade the market coming down, because you'll get rich faster that way. It takes about 5 years to practice that. But I love crashes. I get really excited about a crash. Unfortunately, most people get wiped out. But nonetheless, the facts are crashes make the rich richer. That's why fake is fight fake with facts.
Yeah.
So if you want to get rich quick, it's when the Titanic is going down. You can sell lifeboats.
That's a great analogy. And what do you like about your general purpose? And we're going to wrap up here in a couple of minutes. But about your general purpose, I'm really, really curious, because most people think, again, I'm trying to think from the perspective of the stereotype, of the conditioning, let's say. And most people think, well, if I'm as rich as Robert, why would I spend time doing all these things? Even so...
Coming.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of icebergs right now, and we're all in this one big Titanic. And the question, right now, I'd be manufacturing lifeboats.
Yeah, for a living, for sure.
Yeah.
So Two things, and we'll end with this. One thing, and I was really fascinated, I think you spoke about it in an interview about Jonathan Haidt's book, The Coddling of the American Mind. It's not the American mind, it's the coddling of everybody's mind, basically.
Correct.
And people are, my question would be, what would be your advice for people that are looking to really strengthen themselves and toughen up? Because that's, when people hear this advice, then they go out in the world, and me included, but let's say I've done some sports, you've obviously had military training and all the things that I think evolved discipline in you, I'm thinking. But what would be your advice to toughen up? Because otherwise, any challenge that faces you, you're just going to fade and go back to safety.
Correct. Well, I think that's one of the biggest problems is that people, the word is called resilience.
Okay.
If like the greatest athlete in my time is Tiger Woods.
Well, he just won a championship again.
Yeah, but he went way up, and he came down as, his wife caught him cheating, everything, the humiliation, and especially as a black guy cheating on a white woman. I had so many women get so upset. How dare you cheat on a white woman? Well, he cheats. That's
not a thing to do in 2014.
What difference does it make? I just crack up at people. And then his back goes out. He has surgery, and after this long down period, he comes roaring back up to the top. And if you've ever been to Augusta, the golf course where the Masters was played, that is the toughest golf course I have ever seen. I don't know how those guys play that course.
Yeah.
You have to be a mountain goat to play that course, And these guys are taking shots from down here, the green's up here. And these guys are going, holy mackerel. So he came back. So if there's a story of resilience and determination and a comeback, it's Tiger Woods. I mean, my esteem of, I'm in awe of that guy. He is really a great man to come from the top to the bottom, back to the top, And we all have that in us, except in school, we told them, don't make mistakes. If you fail, you're stupid. Well, he came back, it made him stronger. Yeah,
good for him. So last question, what do you think, and thank you so much for your time, this has been amazing. So what do you think is there a chance for the education system of the future to actually create abundance, wealthy people, free people, and so on? Or should it be taken on to people like yourself that create kind of like private systems of education and spread the knowledge to people? What do you think about that?
Well, I'm doing it as a private citizen, and I stay outside the school system. But if you look, I think you read this book, I think you'll notice on it says fake money, fake teachers, fake assets.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. See, it's all one big system.
Yeah.
The only way they can pull off the fake money is by having fake teachers. And the only way you can buy fake assets is by having fake money and fake teachers.
So it's a very good reinforcing loop.
And that's why I'm just saying out here to the young people, question this. Go to school, get a job, work hard, pay taxes, save money, get out of debt. Until that is questioned. And then ask the question, why would I be saying that at the risk of going to jail if it wasn't legal? That's the question. So guys, the rich get richer because what we do is legal, but you've been told it's illegal.
Amazing.
Say not paying taxes is legal if you're an entrepreneur, but it's illegal if you're an employee.
Any last thing you think is worth mentioning to the people listening, the young people listening, and kind of trying to figure this out? And we'll end with that.
Well, I think the key is young people, because the system of fake money, fake teachers, fake assets, they screwed me, my generation. My generation is never going to retire. The medical expenses are going to go through the roof just when America goes broke. But they didn't just screw the old guys, they screw the millennials. So they're coming out of school deeply in debt and still haven't learned anything about money. So the system of fake money, fake teachers, fake assets screws everybody. Not only in Romania, but all over the world. So that's really, if you can think, comprehend something that big, then you can make your own personal choices and changes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Robert, for your time. If everybody that's listening, hope people act on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Hey guys, this is Catalin, and I'm doing this really interesting giveaway. I just had an interview with Robert Kiyosaki, #1 best-selling author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I want to give away 10 of copies of his new book, Fake. Fake money, fake teachers, fake assets. What you have to do is go listen to the interview. There should be a link somewhere for you to listen to it. and post on either Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever you want, or send me an email with your one takeaway from the interview. And I'm going to choose 10 of those at random, and we're going to give them one copy of his new book, Fake. So go ahead and listen to the interview. Let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment below in the interview, and post your takeaway and win a copy of the book. Thank you so much.